Hello, love. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Jennifer Laurel Keller, and I'm an acrylic and mixed media artist and instructor, but what I really do is help people gain creative confidence. It's a beautiful January day in California, and I'm trying to get outside as much as possible, but there's a lot of fun stuff going on inside in my studio. So today I thought I would bring you along as I have a little show and tell video where first, I'll share some of my latest mixed media work, and second, we'll pick through a big old grungy mixed media paper and found object haul, which I haven't even looked through since I got home. Some of the new projects that you see are part of my latest class, Scraptastic, How to Use Up Your Papers with Mixed Media, and I'll have more information about that at the end of the haul portion of the video, but for now, let's have fun perusing. All right, let's start off with my mixed media journal. You'll recognize some of these possibly. This one is from a class called Let Go and Layer, which I have on Skillshare, and it was a lot of fun. And then this one is from a YouTube video that I made about making my own foliage. This one I just did on my free time, and I really got into some purple tones. I have a little reveal here with a poem under it that I snipped out, and that was fun to just relax with, as well as this one with this lovely texture and the prickly pear cactus. Really fun. This one has an amphibious flip up right there with a frog and a toad, which I thought was super cute, and a bird on a toadstool. And then here we have some really symmetrical focal points with the Buddha and a bat. And then this one I made for my Scraptastic class. I have a little pocket here and just a lot of scrappy goodness. I put together a few different components that I go over in the class, as well as some interesting focal points. And that's it for my mixed media journal. I really like how the pages are coming along. Here is a piece that I did on some distressed cardboard with this big old chunky piece of hardware and some flowers, some lace, and some interesting papers and fabric. And then on the back, you could write a note or something like that. This one has a fun little coin purse on it and a coin up above with some lace and the coin purse open, so that's cute. And I also made a few more of the distressed cardboard backdrops, which are fun to just have around when you need some texture. And I used one of those in another canvas panel piece, which has another little reveal. That's a piece of gauze that has some floral elements embroidered on it. And I have that nice feather and some other textural elements, this piece of wire that's curled up and glued down. It's very strong. And then on the left, I have some of my own sketches and this sweet little angel and some other scraps. Again, from the Scraptastic class, I have some labels that we make in that class, just a really quick little activity that you can do anytime with your scraps. They're so nice to embellish your pieces. Here is a scrappy ribbon, which is also in the class. And I love this so much because you can use up a lot of scrap, and it prepares you for your work if you want a lot of texture. You can just tear off a length of it and pop it on your piece. Here is another pocket piece where I have this little card, and I used one of my labels there, the nest, and then it's on a distressed piece of cardboard. And now let's move on to my vintage found object and paper haul. Here I have some vintage matchbooks. I'm sorry this is going kind of fast, but I need to keep my video down to 15 minutes because of YouTube. So I just thought these were really cool. And then I have the Popular Educators Library, this book is called. And it has some really great diagrams, some floral stuff, and also mathematics and all different types of study. And I have the field guide to gems and minerals. And this has some really neat photographs and illustrations in it. I don't know if I'm going to cut it down. I might just leave it as is and own it. Here we have the Instrument Flight Instructor's Written Examination Guide. And this one is really, really cool. It has all kinds of diagrams and instruments for flight and maybe air traffic control or something like that. Here's some sheet music that I picked up. And here is a very interesting ledger which has some typewriter written things. And this is a book of fables, which also has some cool illustrations. Very old, it's falling apart. And some black and white photographs. Some of these are from a wedding day, very sweet. And that's a poem. This is like a mat board frame, and so is that. Really cool handmade mat board. And isn't that sweet? Here's some packaging, some vintage packaging, and I thought this was hilarious. It says Mom. And some envelopes and postcards and the wedding couple. Here is a piece of machinery. I thought this was a typewriter piece, but I don't think it is. It is really cool though, and these are clock hands. They're very flimsy, but I could definitely work with those. An old rusty buckle and a crocheted butterfly. How cute. And some bits and bobs, some leather strap. I have a finial and some twine. That's a bookmark. This is the pink slip from 1945 for a trailer. Very interesting. And a bottle opener. And some old keys. Always great to have old keys. And then there's this shoe thing. Some hardware. And some thread. A really old postcard with the writing. Love that. And the stamp. I have these old slides from a sailor. It looks like Navy stuff. And I have a bunch of those. Here's another ledger. And I found this old black and white photograph in it. It is so sweet. I love that. Lovely. And the ledger has all kinds of interesting diagrams and handwritten calculations in it. I love it. Another crocheted doily and a postcard of this woman and her pony. And this couple, I love them. Postcard, the number 5. And these are super cool. These leather postcards from Santa Cruz. California poppy there. The state flower. Another flower. I just adore these. I don't know how you get a stamp on them, but they're really neat. Couple kissing. Love the handwriting. And this one I love. It says, "We are on our honeymoon." And the moon is metallic with 2 owls on it. So sweet. From Santa Cruz. And then this last one says, "My heart's on fire for you." And he's roasting a heart over a campfire. I picked this up as just a decorative element, which I could pop on to a mixed media found object piece. I had a poinsettia around the holidays and tossed it out because it was dying. And this is just from the pot. Nice metallic gold paper. I have this book box, which you can, it's kind of like a Heidi box, which I plan on collaging. And I got this big old book of birds. Lovely bird illustrations there. And a few decorative papers. This is definitely somebody's stash from the 90s. Got some really fun papers in here. Some are just okay. Some I will never use. And some are gorgeous. So we have all different kinds. Some, like I said, meh. But then as we move along, there's some real treasures in here. So those will be fun for collage. This is kind of a Valentine's Day type of thing. I think I like the back side more than the red side. And then some flowers here. Very sweet. As we move along, it seems to get older. Here is a Victorian print. That it's not that old, but it's a gift wrap with Victorian imagery on it. And some other scraps there. This is like when Grandma says, save your wrapping paper, I'll reuse it. And it has some Victorian visuals in it. Some doves. And there's a little card on it. So it was definitely on a gift at one point. And here, this is kind of like 70s kids. You know, that was kind of a trend back then. I love this marbled look. Some angels, some flowers, some metallics, and more 70s kids. I think these are like fairy tale kind of things for kids. Meh. This is neat. It's like a textile kind of thing. And that was taped together. More marbled looking paper. Some tulips. Meh, meh. A little ribbon. Those are interesting. And look at that paper with the owls. Woo! Florals and more. This is a mahjong set that was never used. I think I might be able to do something with that. And then my friend ended up gifting me some crafting supplies because she's moving and downsizing. So there's like a little corner cutter, a circle scissor where you slice out circles on this little round thing. Now this last thing is kind of oddball. This figurine was hanging on my porch. And, you know, it hangs from a little hook. And I lost one of the wings. It fell off. And I looked through my garden. I couldn't find it. It slips in. The wings go in this little slot on the body of the animal. And so it fell out. But I was thinking I could use the remaining wing as some sort of decorative element for a piece of art. Okay, that's everything. In a moment, I'm going to leave you more information about my newest class, Scraptastic. But before I do, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It helps out so much. And let me know in the comments, what are your favorite things to collect for mixed media? What are you really drawn to, and what do you use over and over again? I love to hear what you're up to. Thank you once more. I hope you have a great week. Happy creating and much love. One of the best things about mixed media and collage is that they're sustainable. You can reuse materials that had former lives, save them from the landfill, and make them into something beautiful. But after all of the trimming, ripping, and cropping, sometimes you wind up with more scraps in the trash than projects on the shelf. Am I right? My name is Jennifer Laurel Keller. I'm an artist and instructor with over 20 years working in the arts. And one of my favorite things is to find creative ways to reuse materials. So in this class, Scraptastic, I share 6 must-try mini projects so that you can use up all of those pretty and not so interesting paper scraps. And then at the end, we'll do a couple of finished projects to put all of the components into action. In the lessons, I'll cover simple techniques for composition, texture, balance, layering papers with a bit of acrylic paint, and how to use my favorite adhesive for a strong hold. Many of the projects are so easy that you can do them while you relax during your downtime. This class is right for you if you hate to see your beloved papers go into the trash and you want to rethink the possibilities of your materials. So are you ready to get scrappy? I'll see you in class.